Hey babes, my name's Diamond and I write a blog called The Fancy Girls Guide, and I empower women to elevate their lives through fashion, lifestyle, and self-care. Today's video I am super excited to share because in 2024 and beyond, we are not dating men that secretly hate us, that are jealous of us, that are committed to not giving us the things that we truly desire. So this is gonna be like a guide to kind of pull from. These are like warning signs or red flags that a man is not serious about you. Maybe he secretly hates you. Maybe he wants to be you a little bit. So these are going to be signs that you should look for. If you notice any of these things, I would say run. Because it is usually not going to get any better. Now, these are going to be like a collection of things that you can notice in the dating phase. Maybe you're already in a relationship and you're kind of not sure, like, does he really like me? Is this really the one? These are going to be things that you can kind of pick up on, certain habits, things that he says, and I'm going to give you some examples. These are things that I have personally experienced, as well as just things that I have heard from other women that I'm like, oh no, that man definitely does not like you, babe. So if you like these type of videos, make sure you subscribe to the channel, turn on the bell so that you don't miss an upload, and check out the description box and make sure you subscribe to the blog so that you don't miss anything. Let's go ahead and get into the video. Let me just start off by saying that this is not a like male bashing video. I absolutely love men. I love to be comforted by healthy masculine energy. And I do believe that there are good men. There's plenty of good men. Like, sis, don't let people tell you that there's no good men left, because that is not true. But in between those times when we are meeting those good men, there are going to be some not so good men. And I want you to be equipped with the information to recognize when a man is probably not so good. Okay, babes, let's start at the initial meeting talking stage. So when you're getting to know a man and you're listening to the things that he's saying. Now, I would say this is in no particular order, but these are just things that are kind of coming to me. So if you're dating a man and he tells you at any point that you are not his type, or like you're not his usual type, that is a super red flag, because a man who is genuinely interested in you, he would not want to plant an insecurity in you from the very beginning of telling you like, oh, I don't usually go for women like you. Like, oh, I usually like girls that are this way or that look like this. A man who is telling you that you're not usually his type is setting you up so that you then feel like you need to overperform and win him over. So he's already trying to like reverse the dynamics, or trying to like minimize you to make you like maybe not feel like you have any like power in the situation. You're probably thinking to yourself, okay, well, sometimes I date a guy that isn't my usual type. The difference is that men and women, the way that we think and the things that we are looking for are totally different. So a woman, you could look at a man and maybe he's not the usual type of guy that you physically find attractive, but that doesn't mean that you won't find this man equally as attractive as somebody that you typically don't go for, or that you typically go for, I should say. So that is very different. Men are visual. Men have like an idea of their dream girl, what she looks like, probably what she smells like. Like these men have literally been thinking about like, okay, the woman that I truly want, they've been thinking about this since puberty. And they typically have a type, right? So if a man has a certain type of like what his dream girl is, and then he gets with you and he's essentially settling for you not being what he truly wants, and he shares that with you, then that is a sure sign that he is, one, not going to be very serious about you, or two, he is looking to plant insecurities in you so that he will probably then end up being like abusive or controlling in the long run, or just to make you feel as if he's the prize and you are not. Because a man, like, let's say a man is really interested in you and you're not his usual type. He's not going to tell you that. Now, you might start dating him, and then maybe you see pictures of his exes and they kind of all have like a aesthetic, and you're like, oh, I don't even look like these girls that he usually goes for. But if he didn't share that with you, then that is probably just him still finding you attractive. Um, you know, and it won't matter in that case. But if a man tells you, I don't usually like girls like you, or I usually don't go for women that look like you, or whatever you are, and he doesn't like, that's a red flag, and you should absolutely get away from him. So next, let me think. Let's see. A man that is very critical of women. If you're talking to a man and he is like criticizing women and is just like very critical of like women and the way that they dress and the way they wear their hair and just like women in general, and even if he positions this as like, oh, you're not like other women, like you, I like you because you're different, like all of these other women are terrible and they suck and they're just gold diggers, and whatever it is that he's saying that he doesn't like about women, even if he is trying to position it as, oh, I don't see you that way, but I see all these other women this way, that is a red flag. And as soon as you do something that he does not like, he's going to put you in the category with those very same women that he was just criticizing and that he doesn't like very much. A man that is very critical of women, that is a sign that something is wrong. Now, I'm not a psychologist or a psychiatrist or a therapist, so I can't tell you what is wrong, but I can tell you that a man that is like obsessed with criticizing and critiquing women, there's something going on within him that is off, and you need to get away from him. Number 3, um a man that is very critical of you. Like if you're dating a guy and he is like always criticizing you or like telling you the things about you that he doesn't like very much, it's because he doesn't like you very much. And he has probably settled for you, and he has probably like he recognizes that you're not his dream girl. And so in his mind, it's like, you're not even my dream girl, and you have the nerve to not be given a 200% effort in doing absolutely every single thing that I want you to do to make me happy. A man that genuinely likes you and cares about you and like wants you, he's gonna have so much grace for you. He's not gonna be critical of you really, and he's actually probably gonna overlook a lot of your flaws and a lot of the traits that are probably not so great in you. Now, this is not by any means like permission for you to just take advantage of a man because he cares about you and just to treat him any type of way or act crazy with him. But I'm just saying that a man that genuinely like likes you and has interest in you, he's not looking for your flaws. He's looking for the good things in you. And so if a man is like constantly finding your flaws and constantly criticizing and critiquing you, you are definitely in a terrible situation and you need to get the heck out of there. Next, a man that is like, if you're dating a guy or you're talking to a guy and he's like bringing up things that other women have done for him, or like gifts that they purchased him, or just anything like that, or like how women have taken him out on dates and like essentially how women have chased him, this is a man that is looking for you to be in your masculine energy so that he can be in his feminine. Like he wants to live in his soft boy era. And I'm sure that that is not what you want. Like, I mean, maybe it is, but like, I can't imagine like why any woman would want to pursue a man. Like, why would you want to do that? So if a man is telling you like, oh yeah, women usually buy me sneakers and they usually pay for me to do stuff, or you know that, yeah, women usually pay for the first date, stuff like that is like, oh no, babe, like he is definitely looking for some role reversal, and he is going to drain your bank account, and he is going to suck you dry for everything that you have, and he is also going to leave you high and dry. And it's like, the more you give him, the more he's going to need, or the more he's going to be asking for. And it's just like, girl, first off, you should not be paying for a man to do really anything. Like, unless your love language is gift giving, And even with that, it's kind of like, because one of my love languages is gift giving. But if I'm giving a gift, it is definitely not like super elaborate. Like, I might get a guy, if I'm dating a guy and I'm like really liking him, I might buy him a book or like, something like a little small token of like, oh, I was thinking about you. But even then, a man should not be looking for you to buy him things or looking for you to support him financially in any way. And in those dynamics, it usually ends with the woman being drained and being put into her masculine energy. The situation usually does not work out, and you are going to be left to feel like you were taken advantage of and just embarrassed. You'll probably have a lot of shame around it. And that's typically what I see, like, with women who kind of buy men or like take care of men financially. You'll come to resent that man and he will come to resent you, because it is a masculine trait to provide. And so if you're taking on that masculine trait, he is going to feel emasculated. And even though that is what he is asking for and that's what he wants you to do, he will end up hating you for doing it. So, girl, please don't ever be out here trying to buy no man affection. Like, child, you'd be better off buying your own affection. Seriously, like, spend your money on you, babe. Now it's time for the date. If you are talking to a man and he is not initiating time for you all to spend together, where he is taking you somewhere and treating you to an experience, this is a man who does not like you very much. If he is inviting you over to his house or trying to come over to your house without properly courting you, that's a huge red flag. Like, he should not be trying to come to your house. He should not be offering for you to come over to his. He should not be offering for you guys to like go on little walks in the park so that he can try to win you over emotionally without trying to win you over in a proper way. A man is supposed to lead and provide. Like, even at the initial contact of the dating experience. Now, I'm not saying that he necessarily has to take you, on a trip to Bali for your first date. It would be nice if he did, though. But a man should be putting in some type of investment, his time, his money. He should desire to treat you to an experience that's going to be memorable for you, that is going to be enjoyable. I mean, think about it. Like, do you think a man who is like, okay, this is the woman that I am going after, she could potentially be my wife one day, do you think that this man wants to tell the story about how you paid for half of the date and how, you picked the restaurant and how he did? Like, a man who truly desires a long-term relationship and has long-term interest in you is not going to want the story to be told that he you know didn't put any effort in. Not a man who is truly going to like love you in the way that you desire to be loved. Because I know that we see these celebrity couples that are like always talking about how, like, yeah, I didn't even like her when we met. That is not normal, and that's actually very much like it's just a huge red flag. And you will be exhausted and tired and performing and carrying this man the rest of your life. And I would not wish that on any woman. So if a man is like giving minimal effort or just not really giving effort at all, or when he does offer to take you somewhere, it's not like really based around your enjoyment. It's almost like, I'm only doing this so that I can say that I did it, not actually so that I can invest in her. So, like, I will give you an example. So there's one guy that I was talking to. We were, talking for a little minute. He took me on a date. He didn't tell me where we were going. And I got dressed up, got a looking fabulous as I do. And we ended up going to Bar Louie. And I was so confused because this is a man who, knew my taste. Like, you know my taste, you know what I'm looking for, how I desire to be pursued. And afterwards we were talking and I'm like, oh, when we got there, it was like, oh, this is not what I was expecting. And he essentially told me that he didn't tell me where we were going because he wanted me to give the same effort that I would give if a man was taking me to a 5-star restaurant. Now, why would a man want me to give the same effort that I would give someone who is taking me somewhere very nice and treating me to my standard? Why would he want to have me give that effort while he gave no effort? Because this is not a place that I would ever go to at all. So why would you bring me here? And it was in attempts to say, well, I did take you out on a date. Like, I did, attempt to pursue you, but it was almost a way to try to humble me versus another guy where me and him were dating and it was always like, I want to treat you to a new experience. Oh, have you ever done this before? No. Okay, let's go do that. Oh, you've never done Top Golf? Oh, you've never done jet skis? Oh, you've never been to this city? Let's go. Oh, you've never. And it was always about treating me to a good experience and him wanting to see me smile. And it was like, oh, it was always like, oh, I just need you to show up. Like, you don't have to do anything but just come as you are. That is when a man is interested. When a man wants you to jump through hoops and he wants you to like go above and beyond, it's because he doesn't like you very much. Or he's attempting to humble you because of his own insecurities. Next, if you are dating a man and he attempts to like embarrass you or humiliate you in any way, this man hates you. He hates you. He's probably jealous of you. A man should not want to like constantly make you the butt of the joke, try to embarrass you in front of other people. If he's like starting arguments with you in public places or just doing things to try to embarrass you, or maybe like when you get a compliment from somebody, he's trying to like steal the spotlight from you. He's trying to make sure that you aren't too high up on your horse. A man that is interested in you, a man that loves you, he wants you to be on a pedestal. He wants to speak so highly of you and make you feel so loved and so appreciated. But a man that hates you, he wants to bring you down. He wants to make you feel that you are at your lowest so that you feel as if he is the prize, as if he is like you're lucky to be with him, versus a man who feels lucky to be with the woman that he is with because he recognizes that you are going to elevate him. You are going to be, a benefit to him. When you go places, he's going to see you as the most beautiful woman. It's like, if you ever hear Nick Cannon talk about Mariah Carey, this is the only woman that he married, and all of these other women who have had multiple babies for him, who have been around for years, Mariah Carey, I'm sure, did much less than them in terms of her effort that she gave. And she didn't have to give that effort because Nick genuinely loved her and desired her and wanted her, which is why she got everything from him and why he still speaks of her so highly. Versus, not that he's, ever speaks bad about the other women, but you could just tell that the amount of effort that he has given them is much less than I'm sure they desire and much less than he was willing to give for the woman of his dreams. And so you have to think of it that way. If you want to be with a man who truly desires you and you are the woman of his dreams, then how would a man treat the woman that is absolutely the best thing that he could ever come across? It's not going to be taking you to a walk in the park so that he doesn't have to spend any money, or expecting you to pay for half of the date, or taking you to places that he knows that you're not going to like just so that he could say that I did take you on a date and I did put in the effort. It's like, no, that's manipulation and you need to run. A man that is trying to steal the spotlight or trying to compare you all, like, If a man feels insecure about his accomplishments or his success and views you as more successful than him, then in the other areas of your life, he will try to make you feel less than him because he feels less than you. Now, this does not mean in terms of you make more money than him, so he's going to do this. No, this is how a man views success, right? Because you have men that are community activists who, are pouring into their community and they have a plan and a vision and they're executing on that and they have the confidence from um accomplishing certain goals. A man like that is going to be secure in himself, regardless of whatever his financial situation looks like. Now, I'm not saying if he's like dirt poor, because truthfully, if a man can't provide for you, then the relationship is probably not going to work out. But if a man just makes less money than you, but he is still confident in his accomplishments and confident in his success, then that's different than a man who sees you and your career and whatever you're doing. Maybe you're in school and, maybe he's not, something like that. If he deems you more successful than him in a masculine way, where it's like the way that men compare and compete is through accomplishments, through their finances. That is like the masculine, like that's how men operate, right? And so if he is looking at himself and his masculinity and he is looking at you and sees that you are outshining in him in a masculine way, he will then utilize the other areas of your life to try to bring you down. So this could be criticizing your looks. This could be trying to humble you by like doing things like cheating on you, or, just trying to make you feel like you're not all that, or like, yeah, you might be, making all this money, you might be doing all of that, but I'll still go out and, sleep with this girl who is not as attractive as you, or who you would deem as like, what would make you go and cheat on me with her? Which is not, you should not be even thinking about other women in that way. But a lot of times people will be like, oh, like you cheated on me with this girl. And it is because he wants to create that insecurity in you that is like, yeah, you might think that you're beautiful and that you're all that and you're making all this money, but this girl over here who is not even doing all of that, I still thought that she should be prioritized over you. And it's like that is a way to try to hurt you or to try to bring you down. And if you experience that, it's so unfortunate and I hate that for you. But it's just a red flag. It is his own insecurity, and you should not, you shouldn't make that you should not let that make you feel any type of way about the other women. And you also should not let that make you feel some type of way about yourself, because it literally has nothing to do with you. Okay, babes, this is the last one. This literally just came to me. I actually already like ended the video and I was like, oh wait, no, I definitely need to mention this. If you are dating a guy or in a talking stage or in a relationship with a man who is always trying to convince you that the things you desire are out of your reach, or that you're not worthy of them, or that they're just too much, this is a man that does not want for you what you want for yourself. And he probably resents you for wanting more than he is either capable of giving you, desires to give you, or wanting more than he probably wants for himself. So, for example, I was talking to a guy once and I had purchased myself a bag. This bag, actually. One of my favorite bags. And it was not very much. Like, I probably paid like $600 for this bag. And it was just like a treat for myself. Like, this is years ago. I've had this bag for so long. But I was treating myself. And so I was, talking to him. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm so excited. Like, and he was like, oh, well, how much is the bag? And I told him how much the bag. And he was like, oh my, you paid. Oh, you should not be. And he essentially tried to guilt me and shame me for me wanting something nice for myself. Now, in comparison, I have had men that are like, oh, like, what type of bags do you like? What's your favorite designer? What is your, like, looking to see like what I like and like wanting me to send them things. And a man who truly desires you is not looking to try to talk you out of the things that you really want. He is looking to see, okay, what does she really want? Am I capable of meeting this standard, or what am I able to do for her in comparison to this thing? They're looking to try to level up. If you're dating a guy, or you get with a guy and maybe he's not at your taste level quite yet, he is going to desire to want to get there, not desire to bring you down so that he can just give you minimal effort, or try to convince you not to spend your money on yourself so that you can then spend your money on him or something weird like that. So beware of men who try to convince you that the things that you desire, that you are unworthy of those, or just that you're unreasonable for wanting those things, because the very same men will spend their money on sneakers, they will spend their money on video games, they will spend their money on whatever they deem that they desire. They're not going to have a problem with spending their money, or trying to get somebody to spend their money on them. So you have to ask yourself, if this man truly desire me, why would he want me to have anything other than what I truly want? Men who get you things that they know that you won't like, or that there's no thought into it, it's sometimes a bit of a manipulation. It's like, I'm gonna get her something, but I'm not gonna get her the exact things that she wants, so that you will then maybe not want him to get you things in the future, because it's like, oh, he always messes up. So beware of that. But that is the last one. Okay, bye. Okay, babes, this video is getting a little long, so we're going to go ahead and stop here. Let me know if you have gone through any of these, have ever experienced any of this in the comments. And if you want me to do a part 2, also let me know that as well. If you like these type of videos, make sure you subscribe to the channel, thumbs up this video, and share it with a friend. And make sure you check the links in the bio so that you can subscribe to the blog. Thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful week. Bye.